This week on the podcast, we are going to be talking about what we really want from Rivian's autonomy platform.
I don't even know what
Like
an autonomy platform is.
Like the self-driving.
Oh,
Like, okay.
we're off to a good start.
Because what do we have for our Gen 2 right now as far as self-driving goes?
The hands-free,
Mm-hmm.
the auto lane switch.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's probably a million capabilities that I just am not aware of.
Well, no, those are the two. Like
Okay.
lane keep, distance from driver in front of you.
Oh, yeah.
And then hands-free. But Rivian wants to add more, and they're obviously eventually going to charge us for it. Would you pay for what we have right now?
I don't know. No, it comes on our vehicle as part of the package, right? It's not like do we pay more to get self-driving in general?
Not yet. It's eventually going to be more.
Interesting.
On the website, and what they've said is early 2025. We're getting to the point
we're
where
in almost mid-2025.
Yeah, they're pushing it back. They just don't have anything to show for it.
I mean, does any car company pay for self-drive? I know there's different...
Tesla.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we didn't have full self-drive. Like, I couldn't plug in a destination and go self-drive on
Correct.
the Tesla. So did we pay?
Because we didn't pay for it.
Right. But, like, we didn't pay for our standard self-drive on the Tesla.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, like, there is no...
That was just basic autopilot.
Right. There's currently no additional fee for a base package of self-driving in either of the vehicles.
Correct. No. So it'll be similar to how Tesla does it, where self-driving would be, or the more premium options will be pay to play. And then the basic, which would just be the lane keep and the set the distance from the person in front of you, would be...
I mean, yeah, no, I don't think I'd pay for more than what we have now. It would be really
Well, you'd
nice.
be getting rid of lane change and hands-free.
We didn't have lane change or hands-free on the Tesla. The hands-free is nice, but I feel like when I drive, I'm resting a hand or at least a few fingers on the wheel anyway.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't really make too much of a difference.
Yeah.
And then the lane switch is really nice, but I don't need it. Not that I need self-driving anyway.
It's not worth paying for?
No. I mean, I just got it.
Well,
you know, like I drove for 15, 16 years without self-drive and without auto lane switch, so...
But think about how nice it is.
No, I know. And, like, it would be great to plug in a location and just get there without doing anything. But I don't know. How much are they proposing they'll charge for it? Do they have a price point?
Not yet. I mean, I can't imagine it'll be cheap.
I don't know. I just have a problem with... I mean, listen, this is consumerism and the corporate structure, right? Is like... You already have a product that is expensive, and now you're trying to charge people more for it. It's like Disney with their tickets.
Well...
Like, now we have to pay for lightning lanes, too? Just let the kids go on the rides. I don't know.
Make there be one line. You sound so old right now.
I don't know. No, I'm not saying that there should be one line. I'm just saying if you want to add additional fees for add-ons, like for premium products, your initial product should not be as expensive as it is to begin with. Like, the level of entry should not already be inaccessible.
I mean, I think I disagree, because you're buying basically a supercomputer, which has all of the
Sound like a super villain.
Well, okay. So first things first, you should never buy a product that is promising something in the future.
Yeah.
Right? You should buy a product as it is. But because a company continues to try to make a product better, if they're giving you a more premium experience, I would expect to pay. I should never have to pay to unlock something in a car like heated seats, BMW.
Whoa, you're lying.
No.
They charge you to get heated seats?
There was a news article back when that did have that in there.
Oh, absolutely not.
But I think it's fair for them to charge what they're trying to do, because they want to have a better self-driving and autonomy in the car.
Yeah, like you can charge people to have fully autonomous driving, right? Like I remember when my family got our Honda Odyssey way back in 2008, there was the ability to add the little TVs, right? The drop downs that they used to have. That's a premium add-on. I don't mind having those features. But what I'm saying is like Rivian's vehicles currently, the R1S and the R1T, are so expensive, and now you're going to ask people to pay even more for these extra things. Like, let's get R2 out there at a more reasonable price point. That way you can get more Rivians on the road rather than adding things to these already expensive and inaccessible vehicles.
Yeah, but Tesla is already doing stuff like
Tesla's an older
self-driving.
company.
Yeah, but you're not going to get people to change if they're like, I need this full self-driving.
That's true. Is that a big complaint in the Rivian community? That
Well, there's a lot of
missing
people
it?
that are like, I won't drive another car if it doesn't have full self-driving.
I mean,
Which
guys,
it's
you
not full
drove
self-driving.
cars without full self-driving for decades.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. It's the argument with the backup camera, right? Like, I do think there is a difference between people who learned how to drive on cars without frills rather than the generation now. Like, I can't even imagine being a teenager going for a driver's test right now and having backup cameras and mirror sensors and the little beeping.
Well, they're not allowed to use those.
Are they not?
No.
Well, I can imagine you wouldn't be
Yeah.
able to use self-driving. But like,
You can't use, no, you have to use mirrors still. Like
yeah,
you have to do.
But do you have to turn off, like, you know how you have the little light on the...
I mean, the safety features can stay on.
Right, but
you can't rely on the cameras.
No, obviously, that makes sense. But even the mirror sensors with the little lights, those weren't things when I was taking my driver's test.
Well, no.
So that's what I'm saying. People nowadays have it easier, which good for you. I mean, that's technology. It's constantly
Well, I mean,
evolving.
easier, but like safer.
Yeah, no, safety's the goal here.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I personally don't care enough to pay to have full self-driving. If I was able to experience full self-driving for an extended period of time, might I change my tune? Sure.
Here, I'm going to blow up your whole world right now. Your whole argument. What if they charge, and you can pay a flat fee for it, or it's going to probably be a flat fee. It's going to be more expensive that way.
Yeah.
Or you could do the monthly thing.
Okay.
But what if that included self-parking?
Well, that's just rude to bring that up. I'm really not great with parallel parking.
So that's the thing. Would you pay for it? And it could be the flat fee.
Yeah. I mean, living around a city and being required to parallel park.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would pay for that. But if we lived in suburbia and I never needed to parallel park, like I wasn't required to learn it on my driver's ed test because it wasn't really a thing, then I'm back to saying it doesn't matter for me.
So
I can pull forward and back in just fine.
So Rivian, if you're listening, the reason why we'll purchase this is if
Please
you
help
can
me
just
parallel park more
parallel
effectively.
park. That's the only thing we need, parallel parking. No, I like it because of the auto lane change. It just takes the stress out of changing lanes. Like that's easy enough. And I still check anyways when I use it.
Oh God, yeah.
I would pay for it for the self-parking. I don't need it to drive me from my house to work.
No.
I want it to do all the boring things.
Yeah, I mean, you know what's interesting about the parking is my big complaint with the parking on the Rivian as it stands is when I'm pulling into a spot, I can't see.
It needs to be fixed.
Yeah, like I want to see the actual spot. Yes, I know that if I'm backing up, like the camera's phenomenal. The overhead camera is great. But like I want to see where I am in the lines, especially because Rivian's not a tiny vehicle.
Well, it only works if there's like a wall in front of you. Then it pulls it up.
Oh, great.
So that's when it pulls it up. But my biggest complaint with it is that when you pull into a parking spot and the camera should be able to determine that you're pulling into a parking spot, so it should pull up the front camera.
Yeah.
Instead of me having to touch the screen every single time.
Exactly, because that's not intuitive in my opinion.
No, and that's what I miss about the Tesla.
Agreed.
Because it's like once you like slow down enough, and I think it detects that you're maybe parking, it popped it up, and I was like, oh, this is great.
Agreed. What I will say though is we had the auto self parking on the Tesla for like a month maybe,
Yeah,
right?
for a
When
little
they
while.
gave us that fun little upgrade.
Yep.
And I remember your complaint about it. You had two.
Yep.
One was that it was actually a little too slow for your
No, it was
liking.
way too slow.
And the other was the wheel, how they auto spun it for you.
Oh.
I remember you saying you didn't like the configuration or something of it.
I don't remember.
But it definitely was slower. And I don't know if I would use self-parking in a standard parking spot, like in our parking garage, because it's so easy to just
No.
3-point turn it in.
Yeah, I wouldn't use, it would really be in the city.
Paralleling.
And then along with that would be the option of having what they call summon. So like if you're in a very tight parking spot, you can move the car forward and back without being in it.
Oh, so you can see it? That's like a video game.
So, well, like if someone parked really close to your car and you couldn't get in, you could just back it out of the spot without being in it. So yeah, it's like a video game.
What if, does summon work if like I'm parked and I walk out my front door and I'm like, car, come on over?
I don't think they would go there, but like that is a potential for it in the future.
That's crazy.
What Teslas do, and that's what has led to a lot of videos online of those cars being just in the middle of the road and blocking other people.
I feel like that just makes us lazy.
It does.
Walk to your car.
Yeah, just get to your car.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that wouldn't work for us in an apartment because our car is not parked directly outside our door. We would have a car busting through walls like the Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah, the car would be like, I can't get to you. What's wrong?
Yeah, error.
No, I wouldn't. And, you can just walk to your car.
There are definitely, I can picture it though, there are definitely tight spots, especially in parking garages where someone's too close and you have to like climb out the passenger side.
Yeah. No, I think that the biggest, if we were to go back to like another thing that would make me want to purchase the Rivian Autonomy Plus platform or whatever they're calling it, is that the highway assist works on all highway and not pre-mapped ones. You know how when you go into Boston, it kicks you out.
Yeah, that was something that I wasn't anticipating when I drove the Rivian by myself, when we had the overnight and we drove back the next morning to the facility in Chelsea.
Yeah.
There's an area on the highway that we drive on where you go under a bridge and then you're still on the highway above ground fully, but you're about to go over another bridge into a tunnel.
Yeah.
And the self-driving, I remember it beeped and was like, you don't have control of the vehicle, take control immediately. And you weren't in the car at that time. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess. I mean, I didn't touch anything, I didn't do anything. So it was totally fine because I knew the route and I wasn't nervous. I just thought something had gone wrong with the self-drive. No. But then we talked about it and you had said like, yeah, your self-drive always turns off in that area because it's, I don't know, not pre-mapped or something.
Well, I think it's mapped. It's just it also shuts off for bridges and tunnels.
But Tesla doesn't?
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, safety-wise, I can understand, I guess. Especially, I know like GPS accuracy in tunnels is not
I think that's most
right? Like,
likely
you lose signal
why.
A lot of
but
times.
it just should work based off of the lines, like Tesla
Agreed.
does.
And that would be nice, especially because Boston specifically has a lot of those. So a lot of our feedback is based on location.
I think we are in a situation that EVs are easier to drive than if you're in rural Montana.
I don't think Montana has that kind of accent, but yeah.
I don't think that Montana has any people in it, so yeah.
Bison.
But
If we have any Montana
I
listeners, so
think,
sorry.
yeah, I don't think we do.
Not after that comment.
Because there's no one there. But yeah, so working on non-pre-mapped highways would get people to pay, I think.
What map system does Rivian use? Because they pull up like the most random locations.
Oh, no,
as
they're using
pinpoints.
Google Maps, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because we were driving the other day, and it was like the monument of like 1899 something something. And I remember we also were driving through Rhode Island, and there was a monument to a great flood that I lived in Rhode Island, you know, for 20 something years. I was like, what flood happened here?
I don't
So
know.
I don't know what their benchmark is for historic landmarks, but those are the important things they apparently feel the need to call your attention to as you're driving on the map.
Yeah, I know they use Google because they're starting to integrate some of like the AI features from Google. None that are really useful yet.
Do I know of any of them?
No.
Probably not, yeah.
No, it just basically pulls up like a location and it's like, this is what this location is.
Oh,
But like if you were to add AI to your vehicle, what would you want it to do?
I know that currently Rivian doesn't have the ability to read text to you, right?
Well, it does through like, well, no, I should say it won't read you the text, but you could like hold down your
To
Siri button
respond.
and like say text this person and send a text that way. It just won't read it to you.
Right, hold the Siri button on my phone.
Yes.
But the whole point is I shouldn't be using my phone.
Correct.
So having the ability to do it on the wheel would be better. Something actually that we should pivot to, not necessarily AI, but just like technical capabilities of the vehicle. The speakers in R1S, I know you said that there has been some feedback online where people don't like the sound system.
Yeah, in the Gen 2, everyone says that the premium audio is terrible. They've been working on improving it through software. Go ahead.
So when I drove it for the first couple of times, I think sound-wise, like in terms of the bass and everything, it was great. I turned it on rock mode, whatever that setting is that
we
you
swapped
had
it
me.
to rock.
Yeah, that probably helped. I haven't driven it long enough without the rock mode versus with the rock mode to know, but I like having it there. But the more I drive it, the more I'm like, when I'm in the driver's seat, the sound doesn't feel like it's coming at me. It feels to the right of me, more like passenger-focused sound system. But then we had my mom in the backseat today, and she was like, oh my God, this sound is amazing. It's coming from everywhere.
This is great. I can hear every instrument, and it feels like I'm surrounded.
Yeah, which, good for you, girl. Pop off, it's like IMAX. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's like, but I don't care about you in the back seat. I want to hear the music.
Yeah. Like, I'm trying to have my own concert up here.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess an improvement there. I don't really know how it's possible to not have a speaker that is as full in the driver area.
It doesn't feel full in the driver's seat.
Weird.
Yeah. They just...
Is it like, are they missing a speaker in that area?
No, they shouldn't be. I think that whatever hardware they went with the speaker system and the subwoofer in the back is not... It's not high quality enough, you know, and that's kind of ridiculous to say for a $110,000 vehicle and up. It's definitely gotten better. I'm happy with it as far as like it's just nice to listen to.
Oh,
but if I
totally.
want to turn it up and like really feel fully immersed, it doesn't.
Which I do. I'm a Broadway girl.
Yeah.
Like, I need to have my solo concerts.
I know, but it's just not. It's not there.
Yeah, and so that's something, I guess, AI-wise, now moving off of the speakers, when I'm using Apple Music in the car, I can't put a song up next. Like, I cannot, in a playlist, be like, oh, the songs are shuffling or they're going in this order, but I really want this one song to come up next.
No, yeah, you can't do it through the native Apple app on the car. You could do it if you were connected to Bluetooth.
Yeah. But again, the whole purpose is for me to not be touching my phone.
Very true. You would have to do it on your phone before you start driving and play it.
Yeah.
And who's to say, is the sound quality any worse when it's coming from Bluetooth versus...
It's funny because I actually only used Bluetooth in the Tesla. I
Yeah.
never used the Apple Music just because I never set it up.
And I've always just assumed that it's better through the native player, but
Maybe we should test Bluetooth.
I mean, we can test the Bluetooth. Yeah, we don't have any like objective measures other than our ears to see.
How my ears do, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, Apple says that the health of my ears is totally fine, and the decibel that I listen to my music at is healthy enough for me.
Yeah. I think out of AI, it would be really cool to get into your car and talk to it like you talk to a human, right? So what's Knight Rider?
Yeah, David Hasselhoff?
Yeah, just get into your car and you talk to it and it does stuff. So
how lonely are you that you need to talk to the car?
No, but like instead of, you know, how like AI basically makes it so that you can communicate with technology in a normal way. So if I got into the car
hey,
and I was
you know that movie Her where he falls in love with a robot?
No, but wouldn't it be so cool? You get into your car and, you know, we're in a city that we don't know and we're like, hey Rivian, I
want a sandwich.
Oh, yeah, we want to get a sandwich. And then Rivian just like chats with you like a real human being. Like, oh, well, what kind of sandwich are you thinking about?
So you want
do you
like
want
a
this,
personal
that?
assistant in the car?
Yeah, isn't that what like AI models are?
Yeah. I think that's a cool idea. Is that something other companies have? I guess it would just be Tesla.
Not
maybe
really.
Lucid.
I mean, I've heard that Tesla is going to eventually integrate Grok, which is their AI system.
It's an interesting name.
Yeah, it's on X, Twitter, but I think it would also be interesting to just be able to talk to your car and be like, hey, like what's my tire pressure at? Or like, when was the last time that I got a tire rotation? And it could just like pull that stuff up like really quick.
Okay.
Yeah, and it'd be like, or you could even talk to a car that's fully connected and be like, I hear like a creaking in the back. Like, do you know what that could be from? And it would like tell you. It could like help you diagnose stuff.
What about like OnStar? Isn't that kind of what that system is, right? Like if you get into a collision and OnStar's like, I've contacted 911 for you.
Yeah, but that's a real person, right?
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'm thankful I've never had to use it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure like that's the instant like phone call, they talk to you, 911's on the way.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I could see a future where AI becomes fully integrated into the vehicle itself.
Well, that's the direction things are going now. I mean, AI is taking over a lot. ChatGPT, Copilot.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's a buzzword.
I know. I mean, I know it's not good for the environment, but...
Yeah, I know.
Which is kind of counterintuitive to the electric vehicle model. I don't know how different it would be with an incorporation like you're talking versus ChatGPT.
Yeah, no, I honestly don't have enough knowledge on what it is to the environment right now.
Like AI in a vehicle versus...
Or just AI in general. Like I've heard people talk about it, but I haven't really like done any deep research into it.
Gotcha.
But it's definitely something that everyone on this planet is using that has access to it right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm guilty of it.
Me too.
Very guilty. But yeah, I think that incorporating it in the way you're talking about would be an interesting concept. I don't know how quickly that would I feel like that is like a 10 to 20 year goal.
Yeah, I think so
that's a lot of fine tuning. I mean, you're going to have a robot. Like
pretty much, but think of how
robot.
fast things are progressing. You never know. Like they're...
Well, look at
quick.
Boston Dynamics, the dog at Epic Universe and Universal.
Yeah.
So cool.
So cool.
So, yeah, I think these things can be done. It's just Rivian would probably have to invest a lot of money into testing it.
Yeah. I think the next feature that we're kind of all expecting, because RJ keeps saying it, is that in 2026, eyes-free driving instead of hands-free.
Like I could take a nap or I can just look away for a more extended period of time.
No, I mean, he's basically saying that it's going to be like, you don't need to look at the road. You could take a nap, I guess. I don't think that that's something they're actually promoting.
I would hope not.
But like, you could do work while you're on your way to work. So yay, you get to work more.
I mean, there are vehicles that are fully self-driving, right? Like, no. Aren't those cars in California, like where there's no driver? That's what I mean.
Yeah, you're talking about Waymos. Like, yes, those are fully self-driving within a pre-mapped area.
Right.
That, they're locked.
So I guess that's kind of the same thing, right? With like eyes-free driving.
Eyes-free driving, yeah. So it would be highway.
Yeah. I feel like if that's going to be available, it should automatically turn off in traffic.
The point is to use it in traffic.
No, see, I would never use it in traffic. Stop and go traffic makes me so nervous to have self-drive on. I like being fully in control.
That's the best place to use self-driving.
Oh, I disagree entirely.
Oh, man.
No, I use self-driving when I'm like driving a longer distance or I'm driving and I know there's not a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
But when it's stop and go bumper to bumper,
yeah.
I don't like using self-driving because I don't know. I just don't like relying on the technology. Call me old-fashioned.
Yeah, I guess so.
I really do sound old, huh?
Yeah, you sound really old.
Ew.
I mean, it's nice to, like, that's the most exhausting thing to do is hit the accelerator or hit the brake.
Well, you aren't hitting two pedals.
No, I know, but still, it's like, it's exhausting.
No, I get your argument. I just get more nervous with it.
Yeah, I guess
and you've been driving EV longer.
Yeah, so I think that's just you get more comfortable with it, and then you just adjust your distance
settings. Yeah, I'm getting more comfortable with self-driving in traffic.
Yeah,
but it's just like when it's bumper to bumper, I don't know. Eyes free is a concerning concept.
Eyes free is a big promise that I don't think is going to happen. And also, I mean, even though that there would be an option for that, I don't know if I would fully feel comfortable with doing it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, at the most, when I would use it would be when I'm sneezing because you can't, like, biologically, you cannot keep your eyes open when you sneeze.
It's true.
So when I'm having an allergy attack and I'm driving, it's not a great time for me. So that would be really appreciated.
Why did you buy a Rivian? Well, when I have a sneezing fit, I don't actually have to drive.
Specifically between the months of March and May, I need this. But I think that, yeah, it's a pretty lofty goal to have. I don't know how close they are to marketing that.
I mean, they're bringing it up every once in a while that it's
but is that just like a little, ooh, hey.
Yeah, like a little carrot to like get investors and things. I don't know. I don't think it's something that I will feel super comfortable with using. And if it's the same way that the hands-free driving works right now, you're going to be nudged to look at the road again.
Well, you're already nudged. At least, well, I never got nudged in the Rivian. I've been nudged in the Tesla.
Well, how many times does our Gen 2 R1S basically tell me like, oh, you can't use hands-free anymore, you have to touch the wheel again. And then it's like, oh, now you can use it. Oh, you can't use it. So it goes back and forth.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then if there's construction, it's just like, there's too many variables. I just don't see it yet.
That's my argument with full self-driving mode.
Yeah.
I don't think you can quite become reliant on it yet.
Not yet. It'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is, when can I safely put my grandparent in it? Someone that has no idea how technology works. And, when can I put them in it and, be fully confident that they'll get from point A to point B without having to intervene at all. If you can pass that test, then sure, you have full self-driving.
That's tough because also like your reaction time increases with age just because a lack of hearing, a lack of vision.
Without a steering wheel.
Sorry?
What?
What do you mean? Wait, hold on.
Do you not know what's happening in the world of Tesla?
No.
A robotaxi?
Haven't we gone over this? This is why we're making the podcast. I'm so out of touch with this, and that's why you are here. That's why we are here.
Yeah, so Tesla, I think it was this year, they had like a showing of the robotaxi, which is a 2-person vehicle. The doors open up. There's no
Like
wheel.
Batmobile?
It opens up like the Batmobile, kind of.
Okay. Or like the DeLorean?
So you get in, and it's a robotaxi, so it's like an Uber without a driver.
Yeah.
But there's no steering wheel in it because it's fully autonomous. They're supposed to be
I don't feel
starting.
good about
They're
that.
supposed to be starting in June
No.
in Texas. They've gotten the A-OK to do it, as far as I know. So we'll see how that goes.
What does the vehicle look like? Does it look like a Tesla model that's on the road currently?
It has similar like features here. I'm gonna show you really quick.
Oh boy.
It looks like something out of Tron.
I would assume as much.
It looks like this.
Okay, so it has like the rounded front. It looks like
it looks like a Tesla.
Yes, it distinctively looks like a Tesla. And so you have one person in the driver's seat, one person in the passenger seat, but neither one of them has the ability to control it.
Correct.
Oh, no.
It is fully autonomous.
Pass.
This is what the inside looks like. There's just 2 seats.
Yeah, no, sleek, great,
Yeah.
awesome. Not for me.
But also, when you're getting an Uber, how often are you only going with 2 people?
So I don't think I'm the right person to ask that question to because I actually Uber a lot by myself.
That's fair. But like how many times are we out with people and we
A
are
lot.
like, let's get an
Yeah,
Uber.
a group.
And it's like, well, here you go. Here's this 2-seater.
Yeah.
You know.
I would say I would never go in that alone.
Why?
Because if something goes wrong, I'm not going to know what to do.
Well, no one would know what to do.
Yeah.
Something goes wrong, something goes wrong. But also, think about how unsafe Ubers are.
Oh my God. Listen. Massachusetts drivers notoriously aren't great.
Well, no, but I mean, you get into an Uber and they have like 4 different phones that are pulled up and they're all getting notifications while they're talking on the phone with someone else.
Yeah.
It's a whole problem. Like, I actually would probably feel safer in one of these, especially with when you're in autopilot on the highway and you look at other people driving. I feel much safer with my car paying attention
I've seen people
versus
painting their toenails in the driver's seat.
I saw a man reading the newspaper and driving.
Oh my God.
Like, who has a newspaper anymore?
That's your bigger concern is who is still subscriing to the newspaper
Like, where
in
did you
2025?
get
You're the
that?
reason media is dying, Michael.
But seriously, it's amazing because if you get into a vehicle that has self-driving or autopilot, whatever you want to call it, on the highway, like, start looking in other people's vehicles and you become absolutely terrified that there's not more accidents on the road.
No, that's fair. Like, how many times do accidents occur because someone drops something and they reach down to get it and aren't looking at the vehicle in front of them that has suddenly stopped, or reaching behind them to get something?
Or texting, or doing all these other things. Like, anytime that someone says to me, oh, you let your car drive, and they're like, that seems unsafe. It's like, have you seen how people drive?
Yeah, if you really take a hard look inward at your own driving habits.
Yeah, it's like, it is so much safer. There's no doubt about it in my mind.
That's fair. I'd be interested to know the data on accidents that occur in self-driving versus standard.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that Tesla has already shown that self-driving is technically safer.
That would make sense as Tesla has self-driving. It's just, are they reporting a study that has favorable results to promote their product?
Well, that's when you have to really do a deep dive, and I have not done that deep dive.
That's what I'm saying. That's what review boards are for.
Yeah.
Make sure studies are non-biased.
I think their study focuses on accidents.
Yeah.
In general. So it's not really taking
mean,
into account the amount of interventions that someone has to take on the car.
And listen, self-driving in any capacity wouldn't be on the road if it wasn't somewhat safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's
Like,
true.
There's always a testing process.
I mean, yes. There's a lot of debate on that too, where it's like, where Tesla is basically using people as guinea pigs and putting their safety on the line. And
Do those people know?
Well, they do, but I mean, they used to call it just full self-driving, and then they had to put supervised next to it.
Did they sign a waiver?
I mean, when you sign up for it, you do.
And this is why you should read the terms and conditions.
Yes, well, that's everyone that has one of these vehicles is a early adopter per se. The people that are using it are.
Yeah.
If I can guarantee a lot of people that own Teslas have no idea that this even exists. They just think, oh, it's electric, I drive it, great. It's all the tech-focused people.
Yeah. I wonder what the demographic is
Yeah.
for people owning EVs. Like, do you think that the majority are aged like 30 to 50? Just because we grew up with technology as it was like
I would probably
expanding.
I would probably say it's still a little bit older just because of how costly they are.
That's so
That's
fair.
probably the thing. But I imagine that a lot of younger people are interested in electric vehicles because of some of the technology that they know about. But then again, I'm a little bit, it's tough to understand what the average consumer for something tech related feels because I'm so in the weeds with tech in general.
That's fair.
All right, getting back to just autonomy in general, if you could add one feature tomorrow, what would you add?
More? This is so stupid. More? Hold on. Okay. This is so stupid, but if I could add a feature tomorrow, it would be different sound options for the automatic locking. Aside from just the chirping and the owl.
I love your idea on that, but that's not autonomy. Okay, fine. We'll go to that. What would you like your locking sound to be?
I don't know. I want the ability to choose what I want. Like a little sound bite.
I mean, there's a theme. The theme is that it should sound like nature.
Yeah.
So what soundbite are you going to make?
I don't know.
Is it going to be like a dolphin? And people are
Good
going to be
God,
like,
no. That would be so annoying. No offense to dolphins. Love you. So smart.
So I would assume that if they were to add any more, it would be more birds.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's not a good noise for a podcast. No, I don't know. I don't love.
I love the owl. Woohoo! It's great. It's just so soothing.
Yeah, I guess I just don't like the chirping.
I mean, we can turn it so it's only the owl.
No, but that doesn't make sense in the daytime.
Oh my goodness.
Owls are nocturnal. I don't know.
You want it to sound like a koala.
Do koalas make noise?
I don't know. I haven't been to Australia yet.
Yet being the operative word there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can make it into like a woodpecker.
No.
I know, that's probably the most
That's
annoying
annoying.
one. Dog bark?
Do you know how bad that would be in neighborhoods with dogs? It would set them all off.
That's true. And also, we don't want to pollute sound.
Yeah.
We don't want sound pollution with dog barks.
No. I don't know.
You're stuck with what you got.
It's fine, I'll live.
I mean, I do enjoy when they do the holiday.
Yeah, the
ones, and
holiday
it's just
is fun.
A little jingle, or
That's what I'm saying.
or the what was the Halloween one? I guess it was the owl this year.
Yeah.
The one last year was it was like the organ. It was
Yeah.
like, "Dun-dun-dun,
That's cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Do more of those.
I mean, Halloween is their big update, so we'll see what they do this year.
Exciting.
I'm always excited.
Okay, so give me some examples of autonomous things I should want in a vehicle that I don't currently
It
have.
could be like the self-parking. It could be
Yeah. Self-parking would be a good one.
Yeah.
Um,
So if you could get that tomorrow, that's what you would want.
yeah, I guess so. But again, that's just because of my lack of parallel parking ability.
Yeah.
What would you do?
I just want it to be no longer pre-mapped roads.
Yeah, that's fair too.
Just get it working on all roads. Well, all highways.
All highways.
I'll stick with that. Yeah, I don't
don't need it
driving
on back roads.
Yeah. Have you been liking your vehicle so far?
Yeah, but I still really haven't driven it that
Yeah,
much.
I
It's
mean-
tough because like I work remotely.
Yep.
And then the only time I really drive my car aside from small errands that are 10 minutes away is either when I'm going to visit somebody or when I go to school. But now that it's summer,
Yeah.
I don't have school. So I don't know. I want to drive it more, but I also just am working so much right now that I haven't had the opportunity to drive it around a lot, even just for fun. But I do like it. I still think that it's a visually appealing vehicle,
Yeah.
both the outside and the inside.
Yeah, I love the inside.
Yeah, the inside is so nice.
Yeah.
And still has the new car scent in it, which maybe is because we haven't driven it a lot.
Yeah, we haven't really driven a lot. I've done the videos, but I don't drive that much with it because I've been taking it on truck.
Yeah, you've taken it to work a couple of times.
Maybe I'll tease our next podcast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I actually don't think it drives as well as the truck.
Whoa.
I like the truck much better, but
That's a bold claim.
It's the right claim.
Listen, I haven't driven the truck. I likely won't drive the truck. So it's a claim I probably won't have the ability to make.
Yeah.
But interesting.
But
okay.
I think if you can drive a little bit this week, I don't know if you're going anywhere, but
Yeah, I have a couple of things this week.
well, maybe next week we can talk about how you feel about it driving.
Okay. I mean, my driving experience is just going to be driving this versus the Tesla versus other cars.
Yeah.
So again, can't compare it to me driving the R1S, but I will add it to my agenda for things to think about.
Yeah. But I guess that's it for this week. We kind of have to go get our dog from the groomers very shortly.
Aw, he's going to be so fluffy.
Yeah, Arla's going to be looking real snazzy. Maybe we'll put a picture of him up on the YouTube.
Yeah.
On the
Our
YouTube
majestic little lion. He'll come
posts.
home with a bandana.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think it'll be a Mother's Day bandana?
No, it'll be a
That's-
spring one.
That's upsetting.
Happy Mother's Day, dog.
No, it's for me. What do you mean? I'm a dog mom. Well, thank you for getting back into the bed with us.
Yeah, on this third episode of Bed Talk.
And we'll see you next time.
And maybe eventually we'll actually be in the back of the truck to do this.
Once the pollen count decreases.
Once the pollen count comes down, so that we can pod and suntan.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Until
right.
next time.
Remember, adventure is always out there.